Just kidding, I don't play the ukulele. Hello, lovely people of the internet. Welcome back to my page, Sincerely Seth. My name is Seth. If you've been with me since the first video, it's good to have you. I'm glad I didn't scare you away. If you're just now joining, welcome to the party. It's gonna be lit, as the kids say. I keep saying that as if I'm not like 22 and also a child. Anyway, as you can see, the title of this video is a quote to live by. And I just wanted to share this quote because it's helped me kind of better address interpersonal conflict in my day-to-day life. So if it helps you, that's great. If it doesn't, hey, you wasted however long this video is going to be. So, drum roll please. The quote is, maturity is the ability and the willingness to compassionately communicate. This quote has helped me essentially circumvent most of my interpersonal conflict, if not all of them. Most of my interpersonal conflicts could be chalked up to a lapse in communication. Because yeah, sometimes I just don't fundamentally mesh with somebody, but other times it's just a misunderstanding that we just fail to communicate properly with each other. How you say something is just as important as what you're trying to say, right? Because in order to compassionately communicate, you need to make sure that you have the ability to do so. That means taking the time to reflect on your words and choosing the right words. Because once you start, just blurting out how you feel without really being conscious and thoughtful about it, you're going to hurt somebody's feelings. Secondly, I think it's important to give your feelings the respect to be able to voice them, right? Because a lot of people mince their words in fear of like creating more conflict. And ultimately, what that just does is create more conflict because you're sitting on resentment, you're sitting on frustration. That inevitably manifests itself into action. So you're going to be a little bit more short or rude to another person even if you don't mean to. So I think it's important to acknowledge that there sometimes isn't a right or wrong, but just like, hey, what you did makes me feel this way and I need your help to figure out what the best way to move forward is. I think with the ability also requires a sense of willingness, because whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're oftentimes right. So you need to be willing to address the issue. You need to have a sense of hope that the issue can be addressed. Otherwise you just can't. Because if you're going into the situation thinking that like there's no way this person's ever going to forgive me, or there's no way that I'm going to be able to forgive this person, then you've already lost the quote-unquote battle. So then that's where the compassion comes in. Because ultimately, as you're addressing this issue with this person, it's important to acknowledge that sometimes you might be the one that's wrong. And it's important to consider the possibility that how they made you feel was completely accidental, right? Because if you go into it thinking that they're a horrible person or they're out to get me, or that I need to yell at them for them to hear me, then you've already lost before you started, right? So that compassion is important. This sense of common decency, this willingness to, listen and actually empathize is important. So you have the ability, the willingness, and the compassion. The last step is just communicating. It's just saying, hey, this is how I feel, this is what you've done, this is what I've done, and ultimately we need to find a good way to move forward. Because oftentimes I found myself going to a close friend for advice, or their friend for advice, or another coworker for advice. And as I'm doing that, I'm kind of just escalating the issue and adding fuel to the fire. No one knows me better than I know me. I am the #1 authority on myself. So it makes zero sense for anybody to try to figure out what my intentions are by asking somebody else. So I think it's unfair to go to a third party and ask for their advice when you could easily just go to the person with whom the issue is. So by following this quote, I've realized that most conflicts can be easily diffused. It just requires you to pause, breathe, reflect, and then take action. Because again, maturity is the ability and the willingness to compassionately communicate. So hopefully this quote has helped you. Hopefully you're considering, actualizing it in your day-to-day life, sharing it with family or friends, because it's definitely helped me a lot. So if you have any, thoughts or questions or comments about it, definitely drop them below, because I'd love to spark a sense of dialogue with you guys. And as always, just be respectful. That's the #1 and only rule of my page, essentially. And don't forget to like all my other social media. It's Sincerely Seth on all social media except Twitter. But yeah, definitely give me a follow. I'll try my best to follow back. Message me and let me know how you feel about the quote. And then apply it if you want, or don't if you don't. Because again, it's your life, so live it the best way that you know how. Thank you for listening. Thank you for offering me your ear. And I wish you guys have an amazing rest of the day. So tune in to this page for more and more videos. I try to make them based on how free I get. Who knows? I just graduated, so I'm kind of just living life right now. But wishing you guys the best, and stay tuned. I'm going to go back to fake playing the ukulele, so don't mind me. But yeah, thanks for listening. Tune in for more, and just be good. Peace.